Hey, welcome to the After Show where we explore the message behind the message. I'm Michael Grove, one of the pastors here at Calvary Church. If you haven't done it yet, please subscribe, like, make some comments so that we can know you're there with us. And that way you'll also get future content anytime we post things. This is a special message because we're right after Easter and I'm here with a group of friends to talk about what happened this weekend. Welcome everybody.
Thank you.
Hey, I would love to just go around the room for just a second here and get to know all of you. So let's start over here with Mel. Will you just let us know who you are, how long you've been at Calvary, and kind of what you've been doing as part of the team here at Calvary Church?
Yeah, so I'm Mel Quay Green. What do I do as a team? I do worship. I'm a youth leader for like a Calvary Youth because we had a name change. Also leader at Vox. I don't know, I'm just kind of everywhere doing things sometimes here and there. You know.
What'd you do this weekend as part of our team?
Oh, well, I was actually a part of the worship, and yo, it was lit, for lack of better terms. It was great.
It was
so
nice.
fun.
It was.
And the drums? Sorry, my bad.
Awesome.
That's good stuff.
I guess I'll go. My name is Carlise, and I was on media this week as a photographer. So that was super awesome to be everywhere, all across the church, both services on Sunday. So yeah, it was a really, really amazing experience to see all the people come out and just be together and praising Jesus. So.
Well, my name is Gina, and my husband Francisco. I had the privilege to serve in the nursery room with the kids, with the babies, and on Saturday. And also I came on Sunday, and I had the privilege to serve in give the people, to the new people come to Calvary for the first time, the court case. And it was like a really a special moment for me because seeing new faces in Calvary and came to you with that expression like, something new in our eyes, like, you know, something changed. And they ask you, I think in my mind, I just will see it like, why is these people is so nice with us? You know, I can feel like God using us like a canal for love. So when I look in these people, and also the little kids come to the first time, so for me it was a blessing and a privilege to be there. And yeah, that's it. I served in a little ministers and everywhere, but this weekend for me was amazing.
Well, like my wife said, my name is Francisco, and I went to both service, and we belong to the ministry of marriage, and we've been coming to Calvary for 12 years. This has been our home. This is where our kids have grown, and it was amazing. It was amazing seeing how so many people accepted Jesus. You know, I was in the first service at the English service, and 32 people walked down. And I mean, I felt like, wow, 32 people. And I thought that was a lot. But then I went to the second service in the Spanish, and there was like 40 people there accepted. I'm thinking, oh my God, this is such an amazing privilege just to see that, because it was a party. It was a party. We had a great time.
Amazing. Yes.
My name is Claudia Negron, and I've been serving here in the kids ministry. So this weekend I served with the kids, the kindergarten and first graders, and it was a lot of fun to see lots of kids in the room, some of the regulars, and then a lot of new faces. So it was really neat to see their excitement, and then when they hear the stories of Jesus and their excitement and the questions that they ask is just sometimes really deep questions for kindergartners and first graders. I was like, wow. So it's just really neat to be able to get down at their level and be able to minister to them and just be crazy with them. They love it.
Yes.
So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's great. Hey, thank all of you, first of all, for being part of Calvary Church. What a fun family experience, right? Like, this wasn't just something that happened in one spot or the other. Like Francisco saying, you were able to be part of the English-speaking service. You went to the Spanish-speaking service, and you saw life and energy and excitement all across this building. Would love to hear from you guys just for a moment as you walked the halls, as you served in your area from your different vantage points, because all of you saw something different, yet we were all part of the same thing. And it was so fun to be part of it, wasn't it? Just to be part of the life and the excitement and the joy that was just everywhere in this building. I'd love to know from you, though, before we jump into that, what does Easter mean to you? Why is it such an important weekend?
I guess I can go first. Just as far as Easter Resurrection Sunday, I think it's really exciting for me to come to church and to see so many people, extended family, grandparents, grandchildren, people that we may not normally see, and know that not only in the place that we're at, but all across the world, people are thinking about Jesus and what he did and how he died for us and he rose again. I think that's just so beautiful to be able to know that we are all unified. This one day, we're all unified and just praising. And I just know that that's just a simulation of what heaven's going to be like when we get to heaven. That's all it is. It's just being unified and praising God. So that's why I love Easter. I just know that there's just so much passion across the world. And so it's just super cool to be part of that.
And then feeding off of that, how you say everybody's excited and the unity. To me, that's like the best time to be able to minister to other people, to spread the gospel, because people are more open to listen to you and to accept the invitation. So that's when I go crazy, go to the neighbors, handing out invitations, sending emails, sending texts.
Have you heard about Jesus?
Yes. So that's because, like you said, everybody's excited. They're willing to hear about it.
Yeah.
So, and like you said, to me, Easter is just being able to, as a family, being able to, the whole family we always serve here at church together. So we really, per se, don't get to be together during the services, but we always since there's multiple services here, we do pick one service as a family to be together. But then afterwards, just to be home and relax together and just spend time together and just remembering as a family the real reason for Easter, why we're really here, and just being grateful.
Yeah.
Well, to me is that we serve a life God. I mean, when he resurrected and he got up from the tomb, that was something that it always stands with me, because I always think that how could we serve someone if we think they're dead, So to me, in Easter, just to think that God is alive, and there's so many people, you have no idea how many people are in tears and crying, and I saw that because I was in both services, and I felt it, and I felt in my heart, how so many people come to church in Easter looking for something, but right away God is there touching them at all times. At all times, tears were coming down, people of happiness. I mean, Perla brought her brother. He accepted Jesus, and we could hear him praying back there, her crying next to him, hugging. I mean, it was such an amazing weekend that I can't explain it.
Yes, it was amazing. And I agree with you with my friend Perla. Her brother came to the first time to Calvary with his family, and he was bad in the service, and I can hear his praying, and it was amazing. You had that hope, and you feel that love. You still praying for the people outside that don't know Jesus, and one day you're gonna see all the people here too. In Calvary or whatever church, we are part of the body, and so the Christ, and it's beautiful. Yes.
I don't know, for me, there's always been like a different atmosphere about Easter. I was essentially just raised in the church from a young age, so every Easter we just kind of go to church. Later at one of the churches, I would also do worship. So I don't know, just kind of been a day to just come together and just literally celebrate. Oh my gosh, it'd be so live, so lit, so much fun. Just in celebration, the air just hit different. It's always great, and this year was no exception. It's also phenomenal. Yeah.
What did you guys feel when you walked into Calvary this weekend? Could you sense it right away in the way the building felt as people walked in?
Love. The minute you walk in through that door, even the people, you could see their face, how happy they are to see you coming in through that door. You felt love. It's like Gina was saying. She'd serve giving away cupcakes, and people were coming like scared, are they for free?
Yes.
Here, have them.
Yes.
They're thinking, in their mind, they're thinking, what are these people? Why are these people so nice to us? And it was, I felt the love right away. Walking in through that door, there was love all over the place.
Definitely love and expectation, which ultimately will always cultivate the Holy Spirit being in the place when there's expectation. So I could just feel like the rumbling of expectation. So when you walk into that sanctuary and praise and worship hits, and you can just feel the room expecting God to move. And so he obviously does, he'll answer. So I think that's definitely what I felt was expectation.
Yeah, and I sensed a lot of the excitement, especially pulling into the parking lot. You have the greeters outside, the greeters inside. And like you said, just excitement because we have been praying for Easter for, several weeks, months. So just like you said, the expectation, the excitement, like, wow, how many people are we going to reach to this weekend? So that's the excitement. And also seeing the kids, so since I'm in the kids area, just seeing all the kids being excited about, oh, it's Easter today. They're having a lot of fun and
best.
just really explaining to them what it really means. And then they're like, wow, really? And then they keep asking more questions. So just the whole excitement of of everyone was really neat. Yeah.
Yes, it was beautiful. Yes.
And Mr. Mel dancing on stage.
Yes.
Wow,
Sharing that excitement to us.
It's Easter energy,
Jumping and turning.
I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. The energy the energy was already in the room. You could just tell by how many people were in there, how many people were engaged, so on and so forth. I just got the blessing of being able to help lead, and that's, man, what a time.
It was
What a
great.
time.
It was really good. It was really good. You guys up there, I mean, I give it to you guys because it's not easy. I mean, my daughter was there, and she was a part of the ministry on the worship. Sarah, she's my daughter.
Yeah.
So I got to see her up there, and this is something that you pray for when they're little, when they're born, and being able to see it on Easter with the big group, and I mean, be part of that, just fills you with joy. Just.
And also going off of praise and worship too, first service, I was photographing the English service, and I did go into Spanish service a little bit, second service, and it was so powerful. I mean, I didn't realize that everyone sings the same songs, and so like when you go in there, but you dive into a different culture worshiping the same God, the same songs. It was beautiful to be a part of the same kind of passion, same kind of energy. There was no separation. It was all the same. It was just different language. And so it was super cool to be able to experience that too. So.
And you said a little bit ago about that's kind of your expectation for heaven, like we're all unified. And when you get to see that live inside of a building, and because I do step into Spanish ministries all the time, and they are on fire. They are just worshiping their hearts out every time I walk in there. And so to see that passion, and then to go into an English service or to go down to our Indian congregation and see the same passion in everybody alive, to see our kids doing that, our youth doing that, it's something awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great to see our generation serving to God, serving to Jesus. It's amazing. And feel
Did you
so
notice
blessed.
more of that this weekend? Throughout the building, seeing the multiple generations serving together.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I see a new person come to Calvary for the first time. She told me she lived around the area and she always driving around here. But she's like, she's interested in the building because she saw the cross. And she said, one day I want to go to this place. I want to know what is going on. Maybe it's a church. And she came on Saturday, and I introduced myself to her. And she have a daughter. She is 14 years old. And I told her about the ministries, we have activities for the youth, and she's like, oh really? And sometimes you talk to the people and you never, you pray for that. But when I see her on Sunday here with her daughter, for her family, she came to me, hi Gina, and she hugged me, and I'm so excited and so glad to finally decide to come to church, and she loved it. She loved it, and I see her family with her. She have a little daughter. She's 1 year old, and she's like, I love this place. I love it. Yeah. So yeah, that's another. Privilege or blessing that I have it to see it this weekend. Yeah. That she finally decided to come, and yes, that's it.
That's great. Hey Mel, let's jump into worship for just a minute here. I want to walk through service a little bit. You're on the stage in the English speaking. You're helping lead worship. And when I walked in there was a sense of excitement, but then you could also sense the Spirit of God there. Yeah. Well, tell us from the stage, when you're watching people worship, like what does that do inside of you? What is the connection that you're seeing happen during those moments?
Well, I mean, for me personally, I tend to like black out in a sense. I had people who was like, well, great job. I didn't do nothing. I just blacked out. God did the rest. It's like between me and the people, it's because we're both there to kind of worship God. We're bouncing off each other. The energy is kind of going back and forth. So, at least for me, once again, I already talked about the energy. The energy was great in the room. God was in the room. So because he was there, the energy was there, bouncing back and forth, I was just able to give my all. And it was phenomenal. Wait a second. I forgot the question. Am I answering it?
Yeah, so what is it when you see somebody connecting with the Lord? Because, I mean, I understand what you're saying. It's not you up there. You're serving God. And I love your heart because I've known you through that very many times, Mel. And I appreciate your purity of heart in saying, no, I'm just up there worshiping God. At the same time, I know you're aware of what's happening in the room because, again, you're drawn into it as well. So tell me, what's that feel like when you realize, man, God's doing something right now in this sea of people that some of them, as we know at the outcome of it, 182 people made a decision this weekend to serve the Lord. So obviously worship was a part of that. So as you think back and you look through the room and you know God's using you in that moment, what's that like? What does that feel like as you see people engage and get drawn into the Lord's presence?
It feels phenomenal to be able to be used like that, to guide people closer to him in any capacity, way, shape, or form. It's crazy. It is literally insane. Just the gift of being able to do that. When looking at those people, you can see like a change happen within some of them, even the people who raise their hands for the first time. Some of them, I was looking at one person in particular who raised their hand. They were in the spirit. They were in there. And I was like, wow, do we do that? Do we help do that? Did you,
Yeah, we are.
Did you use us to do that? That's crazy. It's insane. The feeling, phenomenal. I don't know if there's anything that comes close. Yeah.
That's great. Carlise, as you're looking through the lens, walking around the hall, you're taking pictures, was there anything that you saw that just totally stood out that you're like, oh yeah, I don't even know if this picture is going to capture what's happening right now?
Yeah, I definitely think my highlight moment, I would have to say, was waiting at the end of service. So we were told to kind of be out in like the welcome area where new people usually come to check in and be like, okay, so whoever wants to, accept Christ, they're going to come out, they're going to kind of have a little celebration. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, little did I know, I'm like, okay, I know they're about to call people out, so I have my camera ready, waiting for the doors to open. And I promise you, the sea of people that came to fill out those cards and accept and write down their names and put them in the box for salvation, I was like taken aback. I was not expecting that. We have a good amount of people that accept Christ, on a weekly basis, but to see just families, like older, younger, children putting their names on the cards, teenagers and their friends and their groups, like it was just the dynamic of generations that gave their life to Christ was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. And so of course I'm like trying to run around, but at the same time, like, thank you, Jesus. Like we just gained so many people in heaven. And it makes me emotional just because I love to see people come to Christ.
Yes.
Amen.
It's just the most beautiful thing. So
good.
it was awesome to be a part of that, to be in the middle of that and to try to capture that. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
sorry.
No, I know.
And what you're saying, it was amazing the support people had as they walked out there, not just from the volunteers, families coming down together, friends and neighbors walking their neighbor out. That's how it should be. And, I think one of you guys had mentioned just a second ago, Easter's so exciting, you just start telling people about Jesus and you start bringing them to church. That's what we're called to do. And Pastor Marty had said that the weeks leading up to Easter, bring people, don't come alone, bring people to church. And man, I was so proud of our church family because I felt like that's what happened. And the salvations, every single one seemed to be connected to somebody that was walking with them through this journey. And then us as a church get to continue to walk with them through that journey too. So that is so exciting. Now, Gina, you were out there when all these people came out and you're there with the cupcakes and you see people coming forward. We had an amazing team of people waiting to serve them, to love them, to answer questions. What did that feel like?
I just want to hug it. I want to hug it. But my husband is like, Gina, just remember, don't hold people. Social distance. Okay, I'm trying to remember that.
We in a pandemic.
Yes, but I I wanna hug it, you know. I just wanna take it out of my mouth and say, look, and smile, and I'm so happy for you. And we part of the serving is another level. It's serving. When we have the opportunity to serve to God, it's amazing, because we are instruments for Him. He made amazing things. We let Him use it whatever He wants, you know. And yeah, it was amazing. For me, it was a blessing. It's a blessing for me, serving to God and see the people come to the first time. So people like my husband say, little afraid. I can say maybe a little confused, because they maybe in her head they don't understand how much love we can give it, right? But it's God's love. It's Jesus' love. It's even us, because we are humans, but it's His love. And when you know that love, you want everyone to have it. So yes, it's my perspective of that. Was amazing, beautiful, yeah.
Did you by chance hear any stories of people that just really stood out? I know you just shared with a friend that their son came. Any other stories that while you were out there, you heard people talking that you thought, wow, this is amazing?
Well, my friend, her brother, he was sick for a couple months, very sick. And we prayed for him a lot. And he want to know the people who praying for him, because he want to visualize who was the people stand for me and pray for me. And yeah, that's what me confundí. I'm confused. I don't know what I'm gonna. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah, so yeah, that's básicamente lo que quería decir. No sé cómo decirlo ahora.
You did good.
Yeah.
You did good.
Hey, Claudia, tell us, because a lot of people don't understand our kids in these moments. They think, oh, cool, we dressed them up. They're going to go to their room and they're going to maybe do an Easter egg hunt or something. But you've been part of actually getting to teach our kids. What's a kid's response to a service like Easter?
It's interesting that because we had so many kids in the room, and when, there's some kids that were able to sit down and hear the lesson and they're engaged, because some of the part of the lessons is video based too, and then some of it, we're talking to them. But then we had a few children that were just not able to sit with the rest of the kids. They were very anxious, so they were in the back of the room, they're playing around, making noise, while we're trying to get them to pay attention, but they had a hard time. But when we started playing the video, we're talking about the life of Jesus, and then it starts off with, Jesus, with Palm Sunday. They were still, I look over there, they're still playing around. And then it gets to Jesus doing some miracles. They're still kind of like, they're looking at the screen, but still playing around. But when it got to the part when Jesus was crucified, you could hear a pin drop in the room. All of the kids, these are kindergartners and first graders, all of the kids in the room are just with their jaw down and just looking intensely at the screen. They were just watching it. So to me, it just gave me the chills just to see, wow, they get it. They do understand, they know. And a lot of times the people think that children aren't listening or they don't understand, but they do. Especially even the kids that were having trouble focusing and sitting still, they even stopped what they were doing and they were just staring at the screen and just watching what happened with Jesus and when he resurrected, and just seeing the kids, at the end they were clapping. So it's really neat to see and to help a child be able to understand that, and then they have their questions like, why? What happened? And why did they treat Jesus that way? Why did they do that to him? And just be able to explain it to them, the why and how much he loves us. They're like, wow, they really understand and they really want to be a part of it. So it's really neat to help a child understand that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hey, we're almost out of time here, so let me just share a verse real quick that you guys all know. In fact, this is one we've been talking with our kids about during the series that we're in right now. This is John 10:10 that says, the thief comes only to steal. And sometimes we forget that word only. The only purpose of the thief is to steal and kill and destroy. But what does Jesus say? I come that you may have life and that they may have it to the full. And I think what we're all talking about here, the feeling that we all had as we were in this space, as people were understanding the love of Christ, is that life to the full. That no matter what you've walked through, no matter where you've been, we all have a common story. And that's that we've rebelled. We've walked away from God's best plan for our life, but he loves us anyway. And what a fun weekend where we got to see people understand that and get brought back into that grace of God that says it's going to be okay. And so thank you all of you for serving. Thank you for being part of making this happen for our church family. Maybe you're watching right now and you have questions to what we're talking about. Maybe you don't understand how Jesus brings that type of joy. We would love to just partner with you and walk through that journey as you figure life out. Please make comments right now. We will reach out to you. We'll do whatever it takes to help you find answers that you're looking for. Pastor Marty said it this weekend. There's no problem with asking questions. We all have questions at times. We just have to look for those answers because time is short and Jesus is our Savior and He came that we could have life and have it to the full. Thank you guys so much for being part of the podcast today. You're such a joy. Love you guys and for your just what you brought to Calvary this weekend and to our families. Join us again soon. Remember, subscribe, like, be part of the community. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, our app. We would love to just make sure that we have a chance to be together. We love you. We'll talk to you again soon right here on The After Show.